Well, overnight, the head of NATO said that Russia is mobilizing an additional 200,000 troops, readying a massive offensive. Poland is ready to send F-16 jets to Ukraine in coordination with NATO. And Ukraine's head of intelligence says Crimea will be retaken by Ukraine. Joining us now is Colonel Douglas Macgregor. Colonel, I want to get you to talk about all of this and in this breaking news in just a second. But first, you wrote a new piece called "This Time It's Different," and I want to start there. You point out how neither we nor our allies are prepared to fight an all-out war with Russia. This is what you write. And yet on Sunday, we have the NATO Admiral Robert Bauer telling us that we are ready for a, quote, direct confrontation with Russia. Listen.
We are ready to a direct confrontation with Russia.
We are. I think what we have done after the war started was the battle groups along the eastern flank. We had 4 in the north, the 3 Baltic states and Poland, the enhanced forward presence battle groups. We have decided now, the leaders in Madrid have decided to create 4 more battle groups in Slovakia, Hungary, Romania and Bulgaria, and to basically strengthen those battle groups, make them a little bit larger, give them a little bit more support in terms of fire support, and give them better stocks for ammunition and other things. So I think that is an important message for the Russians, that our posture has changed, to show them that we are ready if they would have an idea to come to NATO. And that is the red line. If there is any red line, it is the Russians crossing the line of our territory in NATO.
I believe you said that we are ready to scale up, but that will require some focus. I believe it was your expression. What do you mean by that?
I said that with regard to industrial capacity,
okay.
the defense capacity. Because I think what we see on both sides is there's high use of ammunition. There's a lot of destruction in terms of vehicles and tanks and aircraft, and there's a lot of things that require to be bought on both sides to continue the fight in material and in ammunition. So the challenge for both sides is that the industries, the defense industries in the West and in Russia, need to ramp up production. And we basically have an economy now that is just in time, just enough. Everything we do in the West in the last 25 years was based on that idea. Having stocks was not smart because it was dead money. But we now see, so if you order a car, they will start the production after you ordered the car. And we're talking now that, hey, I'm using more ammunition than I thought. I need to take from a warehouse ammunition. So you're talking about stocks. You're talking about things that are there, not because you necessarily needed them, but once you need them badly because the production in the battlefield is going on. And we saw in the pandemic with medical equipment and the material. So we need to increase the production in the defense industry, and now more and more that is a discussion that is ongoing in the nations, but it might also require some prioritization in terms of certain raw materials, certain production facilities that are required for defense production instead of for civilian production. If you know that in the first 4 years of the United States, in the Second World War, in the Ford factories, there was no civilian cars made, but only military production. So I'm talking about focus in the sense that we have to have this debate on prioritization. And that is, in a way, talking about a wartime economy, but in peacetime, and that's difficult, of course.
So, Colonel, in one breath, he says that we're ready to take on Russia head on, while in another breath, he says we don't have the weapons to do it. It sounds like he's speaking out of both sides of his mouth. What do you make of that?
Well, not a great deal. Let's be frank. If this is supposed to reassure your potential opponent of your readiness to defeat him, it's a pretty stupid statement. Frankly, I don't know what they're talking about, ready for a confrontation. The confrontation with Russia will not be in the mid-Atlantic. It's not going to be in the mid-Pacific. In other words, it's not going to be a naval war per se. And any of our surface vessels, and for that matter, even our submarines, could be tracked. Now, the nuclear submarines in deep water can't be easily tracked, but the surface vessels can. So the notion that somehow or another he's ready to do something strikes me as ludicrous nonsense.